She never expected the contract to include falling in love. As Officer Maya Rodriguez signed the final page of their arrangement, Dr. Ethan Blake's eyes met hers with an intensity that made her heart skip. "One more condition," he said quietly. "If either of us develops real feelings, we walk away immediately." Maya nodded, thinking it would be the easiest clause to honor, until it became the only one she couldn't keep. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected love, complicated arrangements, and the courage to be vulnerable, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more emotional journeys that will touch your heart. Maya Rodriguez had always lived by the rules. As a decorated police officer and single mother to her 6-year-old daughter Lily, her life was defined by structure, responsibility, and the unwavering commitment to protect both her community and her child. Her police uniform was her armor, her badge her identity. But tonight, as she sat in her cramped apartment reviewing her bank statements for the third time, neither could shield her from the harsh reality staring back at her. "Mommy, is Lily going to be okay?" Maya's daughter Zoe asked, her small voice cutting through the silence. Maya quickly wiped away a tear before turning to face her daughter, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Of course she will, sweetheart. Lily is strong, just like you." Maya pulled Zoe into a tight hug, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo, trying to draw strength from the embrace. Lily wasn't Zoe's sister, she was her best friend, a 7-year-old battling a rare form of leukemia. The treatments were experimental, expensive, and not covered by insurance. Maya had already drained her savings, taken out loans, and picked up every extra shift possible. It still wasn't enough. The specialized treatment Lily needed was available only at Blake Medical Institute, run by the brilliant but notoriously cold Dr. Ethan Blake, a man whose reputation for medical genius was matched only by his apparent disdain for human connection. Maya's phone buzzed with a text from Lily's mother, "Sarah, Blake Institute rejected our financial aid application. I don't know what else to do." Maya's heart sank. She had promised Sarah, a fellow officer who had been killed in the line of duty 2 years ago, that she would look after Lily. It was a promise Maya intended to keep, no matter the cost. The next morning, Maya stood outside the imposing glass building of Blake Medical Institute, her police uniform exchanged for the only formal outfit she owned, a navy pantsuit that had seen better days. Her hands trembled slightly as she approached the reception desk. "I need to see Dr. Blake," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. The receptionist barely looked up. "Dr. Blake doesn't take unscheduled appointments. It's about Lily Thompson. Please, it's urgent." Something in Maya's tone must have conveyed her desperation, because the receptionist's expression softened slightly. "Wait here." 30 minutes later, Maya found herself in a sleek office on the top floor, face to face with Dr. Ethan Blake himself. He was younger than she expected, perhaps in his late 30s, with sharp features and penetrating gray eyes that seemed to evaluate everything they saw. He wore no wedding ring, she noticed automatically, a detective's habit. "Officer Rodriguez," he said, glancing at her file. "You're not here as a patient." "No, I'm here about Lily Thompson. She needs the CAR T-cell therapy your institute is pioneering, but her application for financial assistance was denied." Dr. Blake's expression remained impassive. "The treatment costs over $1 million. The institute can only fund a limited number of cases." "She's 7 years old," Maya said, her voice cracking slightly. "Her mother was my partner on the force. She died saving 3 children from a school shooting. I promised her I would take care of Lily." For a moment, something flickered in Dr. Blake's eyes, recognition, perhaps, or a shadow of emotion quickly suppressed. "I'm sorry, Officer Rodriguez, but I can't make exceptions based on personal circumstances, no matter how compelling." Maya felt desperation rising in her chest. "There must be something, anything. I'll work security here for free. I'll clean the floors. That won't be necessary," Dr. Blake interrupted, his tone clipped. He stood, indicating the meeting was over. I wish I could help. Maya rose slowly, defeat washing over her. As she reached the door, she turned back. You know, Dr. Blake, for someone who saves lives for a living, you don't seem to care much about the people inside them. His jaw tightened, but he said nothing as she left. 3 days later, Maya was working a night shift when she received a call from an unknown number. Officer Rodriguez? This is Ethan Blake. I may have a proposition for you. The next evening, Maya found herself back in Dr. Blake's office, this time after hours. The city lights twinkled through the floor-to-ceiling windows, casting the room in a soft glow that did nothing to warm the tension between them. I've reviewed Lily's case, Dr. Blake began without preamble. She's an ideal candidate for our treatment. Her genetic markers suggest she would respond exceptionally well. Hope flared in Maya's chest. So you'll reconsider the financial aid? Not exactly. Dr. Blake's fingers drummed once on his desk before he stilled them. I have a personal situation that requires a solution. One that might benefit us both. Maya's police instincts went on high alert. What kind of situation? Dr. Blake sighed, a crack in his perfect composure. My grandfather is dying. He built this institute from nothing, and he's leaving his controlling interest to me, with conditions. He's old-fashioned, believes a man should be settled with a family before taking on such responsibility. If I'm not married by his 80th birthday next month, the controlling interest goes to my cousin, who plans to sell it to a pharmaceutical conglomerate that will dismantle our research division. Maya stared at him, realization dawning. You want me to pretend to be my wife, yes. For 6 months, until the transition of power is complete and legally irrevocable. His eyes met hers directly. In exchange, Lily Thompson will receive the full course of treatment, all expenses covered. The room seemed to tilt slightly. You want me to commit fraud so you can keep control of your company? I want to save my grandfather's legacy and continue our research, which will help thousands of children like Lily in the future. His voice remained even. And yes, I'm willing to help one child now to make that happen. Maya's mind raced. What he was proposing was wrong, possibly illegal. But Lily was running out of time. Why me? You could hire an actress, find someone who. My grandfather was a judge. He can spot a lie from a mile away. I need someone real, someone with integrity he would respect. A single mother, a police officer who risks her life for others, he would approve. Dr. Blake's expression softened almost imperceptibly. And you need something only I can provide. Maya felt cornered, trapped between her ethics and her promise to Sarah. I would need to keep my job. Of course. We would create a believable narrative. We met when you responded to an incident at the hospital, started dating discreetly. We'll need to learn enough about each other to be convincing. And after 6 months? We divorce amicably. You go back to your life, Lily gets well, and no one needs to know the truth. Maya took a deep breath. I need to think about this. Dr. Blake nodded. You have until tomorrow. Lily's treatment window won't wait much longer. That night, Maya sat beside Zoe's bed long after her daughter had fallen asleep, watching the gentle rise and fall of her chest. On her phone was a photo of Lily in her hospital bed, her once vibrant face now pale and drawn, but still smiling bravely. Maya thought about what Sarah would want her to do, what she herself could live with. By morning, she had her answer. There will be conditions, Maya told Dr. Blake when she returned to his office. I won't lie to my daughter or to Lily. They're too young to understand the full situation, but I won't actively deceive them. Dr. Blake nodded. Agreed. I need everything in writing, Lily's treatment guaranteed regardless of how this arrangement ends. My lawyers are drawing up the papers now. Maya took a steadying breath. And one more thing. This stays strictly professional. No complications. Something like amusement flickered in Dr. Blake's eyes. "I assure you, Officer Rodriguez, romance is the last thing on my mind." 3 days later, they signed the contracts in the presence of Dr. Blake's lawyer. As Maya's pen hovered over the final signature line, Dr. Blake cleared his throat. "There's one more condition," he said quietly. "If either of us develops real feelings, we end this immediately. Clean break, no questions asked." Maya almost laughed at the absurdity. "That won't be a problem." The next day, Lily began her treatment at Blake Medical Institute, and Maya moved her sparse belongings and a confused but excited Zoe into Dr. Blake's penthouse apartment, a sterile, minimalist space that looked more like a luxury hotel than a home. "Where does Dr. Blake sleep?" Zoe asked innocently as Maya showed her to her new bedroom, a space 3 times the size of her old one. "Dr. Blake, Ethan, has his own room," Maya explained carefully. "Remember how I told you we're going to be staying with him to help Lily get better? It's a special arrangement." Zoe nodded solemnly. "Like when you and Daddy tried to live together again before he left?" Maya's heart clenched. "No, sweetheart. This is different." She hoped it would be, anyway. Her brief reconciliation with Zoe's father had ended in disappointment and another abandonment that had left both of them scarred. Living with Ethan Blake proved to be an exercise in contradictions. He was meticulously organized yet frequently absent, brilliant yet socially awkward, demanding in his professional life yet surprisingly accommodating in their shared space. He worked impossible hours, often returning home long after Maya and Zoe were asleep, leaving before they woke. Their first real test came 2 weeks into their arrangement, dinner with Ethan's grandfather, Judge William Blake, a formidable man whose sharp mind belied his failing health. "So, Officer Rodriguez," the judge said as they sat in the private dining room of his sprawling estate, "tell me how you tamed my grandson. In 30 years, I've never seen him bring a woman home." Maya felt Ethan tense beside her. They had rehearsed their story, but the judge's direct approach threw her off balance. "I wouldn't say I tamed him, sir," she replied honestly. "I think we recognized something in each other. People who put their work first, who believe in what they do." The judge's eyes, the same penetrating gray as his grandson's, studied her carefully. "And what made you decide to marry so quickly?" Maya glanced at Ethan, finding unexpected support in his steady gaze. "Life is short," she said softly, thinking of Sarah, of Lily fighting for her life. "Sometimes you just know when something is right, even if the timing seems fast to others." Judge Blake nodded slowly, something like approval warming his expression. "And how does your daughter feel about all this?" "Zoe is." Maya hesitated. Adjusting, Ethan finished for her, surprising Maya by reaching for her hand across the table. His touch was warm, his fingers entwining with hers naturally, as if they'd done this 100 times. "She's an extraordinary child. Resilient, like her mother." The judge's eyebrows rose slightly at this unexpected show of emotion from his grandson. "Well, I look forward to meeting her." As they drove home later that night, Maya felt the weight of their deception pressing on her. "He seems like a good man. I don't like lying to him." Ethan's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "He is a good man. That's why I can't let my cousin destroy everything he built." "Tell me about your cousin," Maya said, realizing how little she knew about the man she was pretending to be married to. Ethan's jaw tightened. "Alexander grew up with every advantage, but he resented that my grandfather favored me. He spent his life trying to prove he deserved the Blake name and fortune more than I did." "And did you deserve it more?" Ethan was quiet for a long moment. "I worked for it. Alexander expected it." It wasn't until they were home, Zoe asleep in her new room, that Maya realized Ethan was still wearing his wedding ring, a simple platinum band that matched the one on her own finger. She twisted it absently, the unfamiliar weight a constant reminder of their arrangement. "You did well tonight," Ethan said, pouring himself a glass of scotch. "My grandfather liked you. He loves you, Maya observed. It's obvious in the way he looks at you. Something vulnerable flashed across Ethan's face before he masked it with a sip of his drink. He raised me after my parents died. Car accident when I was 12. I'm sorry, Maya said softly. That explains a lot. Does it? His tone was defensive. Why you became a doctor? Why this institute means so much to you? Maya hesitated. Why you keep people at a distance? Ethan's eyes met hers, a challenge in their depths. And what about you, Officer Rodriguez? What's your excuse for keeping people at a distance? Maya felt exposed, as if he could see through the walls she'd carefully constructed. I should check on Zoe, she said, retreating from the conversation and the unsettling feeling that Ethan Blake might understand her better than she wanted him to. As weeks passed, they settled into an uneasy routine. Maya continued her shifts at the police department, Ethan worked long hours at the institute, and they coordinated their schedules to maintain appearances. Zoe started at a new school closer to the penthouse, and Lily's treatment progressed with promising results. The penthouse gradually transformed with Maya and Zoe's presence. Colorful drawings appeared on the refrigerator, a collection of seashells lined the windowsill, and the sterile space began to feel, improbably, like a home. One evening, Maya returned from her shift to find Ethan and Zoe sitting at the kitchen island, heads bent together over what appeared to be a science experiment involving baking soda and vinegar. And that's why it fizzes, Ethan was explaining patiently. The acid and base react to form carbon dioxide gas. Like the bubbles in soda? Zoe asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Exactly like that, Ethan confirmed, a genuine smile softening his usually serious expression. Maya stood frozen in the doorway, struck by the unexpected tableau and the strange ache it produced in her chest. Ethan looked up, catching her watching them, and for a moment, something unspoken passed between them. Mommy! Zoe exclaimed, breaking the spell. Dr. Ethan is teaching me chemistry. We're going to make a volcano next. Dr. Ethan, huh? Maya raised an eyebrow at him as she set down her bag. He shrugged, looking almost embarrassed. She asked about my work. One thing led to another. Later that night, after Zoe was asleep, Maya found Ethan on the balcony, staring out at the city lights. Thank you, she said, joining him at the railing. For spending time with her. Ethan nodded, his profile illuminated by the city glow. She's a remarkable child. Very curious. She doesn't usually warm up to people so quickly, Maya admitted. Not since her father left. Ethan turned to face her. What happened? If you don't mind my asking. Maya sighed, surprised to find herself wanting to answer. Classic story. High school sweethearts, got pregnant young. He tried to do the right thing, but he wasn't ready for fatherhood. Left when Zoe was 3, came back when she was 5 saying he'd changed, then left again 6 months later. She shrugged, as if it didn't still hurt. Now he sends birthday cards sometimes, calls on holidays. That must be difficult for both of you. We manage. Maya studied his face in the dim light. What about you? No serious relationships before our arrangement? A shadow crossed his features. 1. During medical school. She wanted different things. Like a husband who would put her first. His tone was matter-of-fact, but Maya sensed the old wound beneath. I was building my career, continuing my grandfather's work. She said I was married to medicine, that there wasn't room for her. Was she right? Ethan's eyes met hers, surprisingly vulnerable. Probably. I've never been good at balance. The honesty of his admission touched something in Maya. Neither have I, she confessed. Being a cop, a mother, there's always